Hey.
Give me a check 1 2. How's your microphone? Are you going straight through the laptop?
No, I got my earbuds, so that should be pretty good.
Okay.
It should
Did
be
you listen to
okay.
last week? Did you listen to last week's episode?
It was okay. You know,
Yeah,
it was
it
the
was
that was
it
the
was
laptop
good.
mic.
The sound quality was a little off. Did you notice that?
Well, of course, because it was the laptop microphone. I at
I
least
know.
now
I
I have
mean,
my little headset.
yeah. And Dan, you were right about these microphones. Like Dan has podcast experience, and he got me one of these microphones. And I was like, I don't know if we need that. Boy, that makes a fucking world of difference. This microphone.
Okay, so let me set up this little episode this week. So I am currently on a ship in the Sea of Cortez, which is it's the little gulf between the Baja Peninsula, Baja California, which is Mexico, and Mexican mainland. It's an area where whales hang out. This is like a whale watching kind of trip. It's on a National
Right.
Geographic. 100 passengers, average age, and average.
The sound, buddy, the sound is cutting in and out a little bit.
Average age 78 and a half. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. The sound was cutting in and out. And so
All
the
right.
picture
I mean,
was
I'm
freezing
on
up.
the connection's going to be. It is what it is. It's about.
Okay, no problem. So you're on the Sea of Cortez with boomers on an expensive whale watching trip.
Yeah. So when I am one of the youngest people on the ship. There are no children, and
That's good.
average household income $7.8 million.
Jesus Christ.
No, I mean I'm exaggerating, but like I don't even know where to start, Bruce. It is.
So what? Okay, let me just explain to the radio audience just a little bit of background. Dan is in the Sea of Cortez. In case you didn't catch that, he's in the Sea of Cortez. He's on the boat right now. You can see there's a gorgeous shot of him. You know, he's from the balcony of his like expensive boat, spot right now. And we're doing the podcast. And Dan has been, whenever he goes on one of these vacations, he focuses on other people, usually children, that annoy him. And so often, to the ire of his better half, Kara, it'll ruin the trip. Dan spends a lot of money to go on this trip, and he instead he focuses on bad human behavior of his people that are around him. And I'm sure. So this podcast, Dan couldn't wait to talk about it. So he's clearly fired up about some sort of bad human behavior going on the boat. I mean. And there are gorgeous. He sent me a picture of a whale. You know, is seeing. You're seeing the whales. I mean, they are delivering on that, right?
Oh no! In terms of the experience of the trip itself, it's great. It's just
right.
I did not anticipate how old the average clientele here would be, and just these. I mean, this is like what you described, just way more. Because
what do you mean? What's going on?
Because they're extremely wealthy. And
right.
Some of the conversations I overhear are just bonkers. It's just I'm like, I just hope when I'm this age I don't become like this. And it's something else. But there's probably 3 couples on board who are under 65. I'm one of them.
So you and Kara are some of the youngest people on the boat.
Yes, there are no. An older couple, I'm guessing grandparents with their grandkids, but they look like they're 20, 22. That's not a kid.
You know? Right. That's an adult.
Yeah, it's been an interesting, these vacations on these ships are supposed to be very active. Like these aren't like you just hang out and stuff your face. Like you're supposed to, there's hiking and there's snorkeling, and there's snorkeling today.
Right.
I was at the snorkeling meeting, and I'm looking at these people, thinking, "This dude, some of these people, here, I'll show you." Like
you were like, these people shouldn't be fucking. You sent me that one picture. It was like some sort of a briefing on how to snorkel, and you sent me that picture, and I managed to zoom in close to the television where it said the rules, right? And the rules were like, in the background of this shot right here, there's something on the screen that you cropped out, and it says like, hey, please let us know if you are experiencing shortness of breath, having muscle cramps, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And it's like, I'm, and you're like, should this dude, so Dan is now sharing a picture of like some altercocker, some old guy who's clearly getting ready to go scuba diving. Should that, you know what?
So,
you should
no,
be in
snorkel.
good shape to fucking snorkel.
So
okay.
It's not just that. It's that when you do it, you have to leave the ship. They put you on this little boat called a Zodiac. It's almost like a raft.
Inflatable craft.
So you get in that, you swing your legs over, and then they take
God.
you to the snorkel spot that you put on your fins, and then you swing your legs back over and you get in the water. And I'm looking at these geezers and I'm like, how are they going to do this? Like, why would you sign up to snorkel?
Are they shuffling around the hallway? They can barely shuffle down the hall, right?
Yes.
It seems like a bad idea.
Yeah. Like, if you're that age, that guy, look at that guy, dude. He's got to be 90, 85.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. Look, on one hand, you're like, okay, that's great. You want to be active, but is this really like, and for me, it kind of ruins it because I know I'm going to be stuck behind this guy waiting for him to get in the boat, get out of the boat.
Oh,
take
right.
An hour and a half, and
well, I mean, he's probably paying the money to do it. And the only thing that the cruise line is worried about is probably like if this guy has some sort of a medical emergency and a litigious situation. So that's probably the only thing the boat cares about, right?
But there's 50 others just like it, and they're all
Jesus.
Because when they said the snorkel thing, and they're like, well, if you want to snorkel, you got to come to this meeting. I'm thinking, all right, there's not going to be that many people at this thing because these old farts, they're not going to snorkel.
You were banking on the fact that maybe a lot of people didn't want to snorkel.
Correct, but no, I was wrong. So this comes to my quandary, Bruce.
All right, what's going on?
This is the question I have to ask you. I need your take on this, right?
I'm here for you, buddy. And of course, to let everyone else know, I don't know what Dan's going to talk about. We don't prepare for these. So what's going on?
Okay, so here's my question. I told you the average age is like 78, right? And these are all like, well, we flew here via, Jackson Hole, spent a few weeks there. So
that's a great impression, by the way. I want to get back to that because it sounds like a real life thing you heard.
But there's also a couple of younger couples, and there's one in particular. They're in their 20s, Bruce.
Uh-huh.
And I met these people, and they had no sense of humor at all. Like,
really,
I'm trying to riff a little bit and rap.
Yeah.
And so they went to Yale, and like,
yeah. And if they went to Yale, you're probably like, oh, I went to Dartmouth. I mean, there's a common point, right?
So like, I'll tell you exactly what happened.
What's going on?
The girl, so it's a couple, 20s. The girl's last name is Van Nostrand, which is the same name as a Seinfeld reference. There's this episode where Kramer pretends to be a doctor, Dr. Van Nostrand.
I remember that. How incredible that it's the same fucking name.
So I say to her, "Oh, Dr. Van Nostrand." I said, "Are you a Seinfeld fan?" She goes, "No, I've heard, but I've gotten that before." I go, "Oh." So I said, she asked me about him. I said, "Well, he's a fake dermatologist." And the girl seemed like offended by that notion. And then the husband boyfriend looked at me like I had just punched her in the face.
Really?
Like, yeah. And again, dude, these are Gen Z, people. So
yeah,
or whatever, maybe late millennial. But so my question to you is, who would you rather spend time with? Right?
Wow, here we
go. This guy in the picture, right?
Yeah,
like the crypt keeper. Right?
Yeah.
Or a 27-year-old who has the sense of humor of this guy. Like it's tough.
I mean, I have an answer for that very quick. It's not tough. It's the old guy. I'm spending time with the old guy.
Me too.
Are you the same way?
Yes. And, like, so I have nothing in common with most of these people. And like, say this guy, I have nothing in common with him. But there's one thing I kind of have in common. I'm closer to his age, right? Well, maybe not him. He's probably 90. He's probably like 90. But like most of these people who are like 72, like, they're older than me, but it's not insane,
Yeah.
But this young couple ruined it because I'm like, oh, at least there's somebody here I can hang with, right? And then when I talk to him, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, you probably erroneously thought that like you would vibe and have something more in common with the 20-somethings than these altercockers because what we talked about before, how we think about ourselves inside. Like me and you are younger inside than we are on the outside, mentally,
Right.
everything else. Society wise, we're younger inside. And so you feel that way, but then the reality of it is, especially if they're, they sound like extremely rich and entitled 20 somethings,
Oh, dude,
which are just really horribly annoying. I want to spend time with this old guy all day long, because I guarantee you the old guy's got a better sense of humor than the younger people, because he's got an age behind him,
So the wife looked up the young people. She knows because everyone has a name tag. She looked them up.
Wait a minute. Hold on. After your interaction with these younger people, Kara saw that you were fuming and decided to like Google them and find out about them.
All right. She doesn't want me. I'm gonna go in because I'm being loud and they can hear me.
Okay.
Potentially hear me.
Hold on. I was gonna say something about that. So, because if you're out on the balcony, you're talking.
Right. Yeah.
That means that someone's right on the other side of you could probably hear this shit.
It's possible. So let's just play it safe.
Okay.
So
the audio's better in here anyway.
So she Googles the couple, and the dude is, this is not like rich. This is generational extreme wealth. This is Fairfield County, Connecticut. You know what? Do you know about Fairfield County, Connecticut?
Yeah, I know about Connecticut as a whole. Yeah.
We're talking 1%. We're talking like this isn't like rich. This is 1%ers. So, and I just remember meeting them, and I remember coming back to the room thinking to myself, spending all this time complaining about these boomers. Fair enough, right?
Sure.
I think honestly, I'd rather just grin and bear the boomers than that.
Yeah, 100%.
Well,
those types of people, because they never, you know what it is, Dan? The 20-somethings you're talking about, if they're generational wealth, here's the thing about a sense of humor. You have to develop a sense of humor, because of a lot of times hard times and struggles and things will develop a sense of humor and life experiences. I think these rich 20-somethings had lived such a insulated, lovely life that they never why even develop a sense of humor? They never had to. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly right. And I think, honestly, man, it's been rough because, you choose your poison, right? You got these boomers who can barely get around, and like you're waiting for them to shuffle down the hall, like you said, or whatever.
You're seriously annoyed by the 20-somethings. I can tell.
Oh,
like you're focused on them.
It's one couple. It's just one couple. That's it. There's them. There's one couple we met in their 30s who were okay.
Right.
There's us, who's us. I'm 50, and then everyone else. Everyone else is over mid 60s at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's a.
So the Von Nostrins are, they've gotten in your head, and you are focused on them.
Yeah.
And they are annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. I'm just trying to avoid them at this point. So I'm trying to latch on to some boomers that I can actually hang with. We met at like an older lesbian couple that we like, and they're fine.
100%. That I would hang out with them too all day.
Well, I mean, there's a couple others that look like they would not want to hang out with guys like me, but these two are cool. And so
that's true. I mean, that's going to be their defenses, because guys like us are normally the problem. But once you let them know that you're cool, they'll warm up to you. Dan, you got a charming personality. What's not to like?
Sure. But yeah, other than that, we're just cruising around. We'll be bumming around. We're near Cabo San Lucas, which is where Sammy Hagar makes his tequila.
Yeah, that's Cabo San Lucas. Are you gonna go ashore?
No, not in Cabo. We do go ashore in La Paz, which is just a normal little town in Mexico. So that'll be cool.
Okay.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited to walk around and be amongst normal people again for a day. But yeah, I mean because we took a trip like this 12 years ago.
Right, I remember.
Same company, same idea, a little more active, but same idea. and it was a completely different, because that trip had some boomers, but generally was middle-aged, people,
Yeah,
very
to
young people.
refresh everyone else's memory, that trip more than a decade ago was to the Galapagos, am I saying it right? Islands. And
Yes.
it was the same type of thing, and Dan, of course, doing things like this to avoid being around little children. He doesn't like little children being annoying. And so, of course, on the Galapagos Island, when there was a child just being super annoying, but we're happy to say that on this trip right now, there are no children on the boat. And I stand corrected because I
0.
thought the over-under was going to be like 7. I thought you were going to have to deal with like
It's,
7
it's
kids.
funny. It's funny you mentioned that, because me, I'm fixated. So I
Of
actually
course.
I asked one of the ship staff. I'm like, do you guys get kids on these? Because there are none on this one, I noticed. And
Yeah.
they said it really varies based on the time of year.
Ooh.
The lady said, we actually have a massive group of like 12 and 13-year-olds on the next week.
Oh,
We do this every week. So if I had come 1 week later, there would have been a slew
wow.
of 12-year-olds.
Dude, what about the Wheel of Fate? Holy shit. And there's no way
Yeah.
to like find out about that in advance from the company?
I'm sure you can actually. I didn't think to do that, but if you call them and you say, look, we're looking at these dates, this date or this date or this date, can you tell me how many confirmed children are on? I'm sure they will.
But maybe that's not something that I don't know, a company wants to keep track of or tell people. That sounds like an
Well,
unusual request.
I don't think so. You can just say, look, I don't really dig kids. I'm spending a lot of money on this. I think that I did not do that, but
I always get a weird look from any time I go to a restaurant and I say, look, I don't like, and I'll do this too. I'll ask the lady before we get seated, like, hey, I don't really like kids. Can you put me in an area where there are no kids? Like, I definitely get the look like, are you some kind of a maniac? Why don't you like kids? Everybody likes kids.
well, it's an easy. Can I give you the answer to that?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I say when people say that to me. Let me ask you, do you really want to know the 50-year-old man who loves children? Is that who you want to hang out with?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Isn't it a little
I
weird?
agree.
I
That's
love
always really
children.
weird. That's a
Yeah,
dark area.
yeah. So,
But
no,
on
so
this
there's
trip right
none.
now, we are happy to confirm that there are no children. And I was following Dan, like, because people are boarding the boat, like in the
0.
beginning of the movie, The Titanic, you see all these people boarding the ship. And once the ship departs, that's it. Who's on the boat is going to be on the boat. And so when that moment that the boat took off and you looked
Yeah.
around on the rails and stuff, and you were like probably excited, you're like, I don't think there's any children on this boat at all. And that must have been I would have been very excited at that point.
I mean, I was happy about that, but I was more just taken aback at how old the clientele is, and it was just crazy. I was just shocked. Like I said, I mean, and it's great for them that they're still traveling and stuff. But like I said, this particular company, their whole shtick is active vacations. This isn't you're not lying by a fucking pool all day. You're
Right.
out, you're hiking, you're snorkeling, you're whatevering, and like we'll see how this goes, because we're gonna have some hiking and some snorkeling and stuff in the next couple of days. I'm really interested to see how this goes, because
No, but do you like the active style, or like is that a part of the thing that
yes,
appeals to you?
yeah. I mean, I want to see wildlife. I want to get out and get away from humans, not be with them. And
Right.
it's the wildlife. I mean, the whales are great. Here, we'll show everyone the.
So
That's a gray
Dan,
whale. That is a gray
so
whale.
that
That's just
gray
his
whale,
nose.
it just comes like right up to the boat, and if you're looking at that pic, it's got like the barnacles on it and stuff, and
So
this
all
big
that
ass.
is he's 40 feet long, and that's just his nose,
Wow,
basically.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ! Is that the first
yeah.
time you've ever seen a big ass like thing like that close?
Yeah, I've had no experience with whales really in my
Now,
life.
was it like
So this is
that must have been an incredible experience to look at a creature that big and realize we share the planet with that, and just like how little we are as humans. Am I right?
yeah, it was really cool. The gray whales are neat, but today in the next couple of days we're going to be seeing humpbacks, who tend to be a little
Ooh,
more. They're kind of playful. They jump out of the water and do shit, so that'll be
are they
fun.
like bigger? The
Um,
humpbacks are bigger, yeah.
Humpbacks bigger than gray whales, about the same, says the
Wow.
doctor. Um, but yeah, that's and then there's the ship.
Dan, how are you feeling? You'd mentioned the doctor. Dan got a case of food poisoning before he left the boat, before he got on this trip, and so it stuck around. How are you feeling?
So let me do a free advertisement for you. So
okay, hold on. Pepto-Bismol,
but specifically
the diarrhea formula.
No. Liquid caps. Liquid caps. They are.
I don't know about this product.
Well, it's Pepto-Bismol. Pepto-Bismol comes in many flavors. You have the liquid, you have the chewable, you have the tablet. This is a capsule with liquid in it. And it sounded ridiculous. My father, who's a doctor, says, look, these things work great. Do this. I took these things. Next day I was cured.
No shit. I didn't know Pepto-Bismol had like a capsule thing because, like, of course, like all products, they're coming up with a million different styles of it.
Yeah, I think...
I'm a big fan of Pepto-Bismol. I really am. But I get it in the Costco-sized. I mean, it looks like a gallon-sized container of Pepto, and I use it a lot. I get an upset stomach all the time, and I usually just swig right from the bottle like it's a whiskey. You know what I mean? But I didn't.
Yeah, and that's fine, But I just my dad was right. Like, what I don't know what the difference is. I couldn't tell you, but there's something about those capsules.
Goes right down in your stomach and just does the job, and you feel better.
I was basically cured the next day. Yeah,
it's an amazing product. It really is. I mean, it works instantaneously. I mean, the reason that I like it, I'm going to be honest. I love the way that it tastes. I love the fucking way that it tastes. I love drinking that thick, chalky pink, bright pink liquid at the end of a meal. Like, it's disturbing.
Yeah, that's gross. I can't stand the liquid. I mean, I had the little chewables that I brought, thinking, all right, I'll use these. But hey, my parents. You hate telling you saying your parents are right, but they were right about that. So
good. So you're feeling good.
I'm good. We're going to go ashore later today, and we're going to see what we can see. I don't know. I mean,
is this later on today? Is this the first time you're going ashore? You've been on the boat the whole time, and this is the first land stop?
No, we've had two. Well, we haven't had a land stop. We've had stops where you get out and you get into a smaller boat and you go look at whales.
But this is the first time you're getting on land.
On land. This will be the first time today. Okay. And then I don't know the itinerary. I know that we go to La Paz in a couple days, and I mean, we have the possibility of seeing a blue whale, which is the largest.
God damn, that would fucking rule.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get to do that. It's pretty neat. The wife's had a lot of whale experiences. She's sort of like rolling her eyes, but
let me ask you this though. I got a question. So you're on this trip. They charge a lot of money for you to get on a boat and go look at whales. That's the whole thing. Yes, they want you to be active, but we're going to go look at whales. And of course, as it being Mother Nature, there's no guarantee that you're going to see a fucking whale. You could get out there on this boat and go around and look at the water and just not see a single fucking whale the whole time. How does the company navigate around that?
Or the weather could be too shitty. Where you
how will the company navigate around that?
There's nothing you can do. They said that there's been weeks where they go out and it's too windy to even get in the small boats to go see them. So it is what it is. What are you going to do? There's nothing they can do. It's nature.
I know, but just how like annoying American consumers are.
I'm sure the boomers would have many comments.
Oh, yeah. The boomers are there. There were no, you know what? We paid all this money. There's no whales. Where's the whales? Can't you beckon them or something?
Beckon the whales. No, we've been lucky so far. So it's going pretty good. I
love it. Buddy, I'm glad to hear you're having fun and seeing whales and you're feeling better because of the Pepto capsules. Maybe we'll try to get an endorsement from them.
I wish put you on an island with just that guy that I told you about, the young guy, and just for like for a week and like fight to the death. That'd be pretty cool.
Hold on. So me on an island with just the guy or his wife too with him, the 20-year-old couple.
Let's say just the guy. I mean, I'm not
just the guy. So he's 28. Yeah. He's no sense of humor, generational wealth. Yeah. You just like his whole life has just been taken care of. He's never had any kind of a struggle or obstacles to overcome. Everything's just taken care of. I think I would just for fun do a little cannibalism. I don't know, just because out of boredom and just out of spite, maybe like just take them down and like I don't know, man. I would not do well. I'd rather be on I'd rather be on the abandoned island with the boomer. I mean, it's as weird as that is to say. I'm
know,
with
and
you.
that's been the revelation for me is that as annoyed as much as I will complain about these geezers, right?
Yeah,
I
same.
much prefer them to a humorless 20 something.
Now, I love that, which is weird because I love 20 somethings generally. They
Generally, yes, I agree.
generally they're great, but I think when you add the element of generational wealth into that, like
Hmm.
extreme generational wealth,
Hmm.
the level of entitlement and just privilege just negates any coolness they might have had. I think it's got to
Yeah,
be intolerable, insufferable to be around them.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad you have the same conclusion because that was
I do.
basically where I landed too. I was like, wow. I'm like
It's
this.
not even close. The way you
Yeah,
describe it, like I immediately when you brought up that situation, I'm like, going with the boomer all day long.
yeah. I mean, as bad as these boomers can be, and these guys are rich too. But I
Yeah,
think with the life experience, I mean, there's a good chance these guys are rich. They're all rich, right? But there's a pretty good chance that some of them at least grew up poor, or they made their own money. It wasn't like they inherited it, and
well,
so at least like you,
maybe, but at least they'll at least have more life experiences that'll take them down a notch and bring it to our level. Like you could grow, like a boomer could, grow up rich and stuff, but maybe they've seen a dead guy floating down the river. Maybe they've seen a couple life experiences that kind of like would bring them into the normal person realm. You know what I mean?
yeah, I agree. I think the life experience, you're gonna find something you can talk to them about, and like in the sense of humor, they're generally going to at least have a little bit of one. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you.
it's yeah.
So
So
so far,
I just wanted to give you an overview of the
yeah,
fun.
no, it's good.
Um,
And so far you've it's the annoying 20 something couple versus the boomers, and the annoying 20 something couple is getting your ire up. You are very annoyed by them, and rightly so. And then on the good side of
and
things,
let's talk about the guy that I texted you about, the naturalist dude with the sandals and the pinky ring
is this
and
the
the
30-year-old couple? There's a 30-year-old couple?
no, this is the guy who works. Remember, I texted you the picture, and he works for the cruise company, and
Okay.
he's like a tour guide, right? And
Okay.
he
How old is this
just
guy? Early 40s?
not quite, no, 30s probably.
So describe to
So
the audience what's going on. This is a guy who works on the boat and he's in charge of bringing everyone out on the boat and doing stuff. He like works for the company.
so they have like a bunch of naturalists who basically guide you on stuff and talk about whales and talk about birds, and they have expertise. And like this guy, he just a stereotype. He's got the backpack with the water bottle that he carries everywhere. He's got the tivas. He's got the pinky ring. Like I feel like he probably has a hacky sack on him somewhere.
Yeah, okay.
He's missing the man bun. I thought he would have a man bun.
Oh, this is
Um,
the guy that I wrote man bun, gummies, and generational wealth.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, that guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what is. There's other naturalists on board who are cool. I've talked to, but something about this one. I see him and he aggravates me. I don't know what it
You
is.
focus.
But
You focus on this guy. So he's
yeah,
probably. If I bet he's sort of got this sort of vibe going, where his eyelids are kind of half shut, and he's got this kind of affect that he puts on, almost like a Rastafarian, like he wants to be like a little
no,
bit
no, no,
baked.
no, no,
He's not got that
no.
affect going on.
You're off on that. He's just very happy. Good morning. Good morning. Good
Oh God.
morning. I hate it. It makes me nuts. I
Yeah.
just don't like politeness. Annoys me, like in a weird way. I know it sounds
Yeah,
stupid.
I'm with that. I'd rather someone be like real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
when
Right.
I go out to eat and there's a waitress or a waiter and they're like that, "Hey, good morning. I'm here to serve." No, you're not. You're not happy. You're not here to. I want someone to be like, "Yeah, it's been rough. The last lady
Yeah.
yelled at
Right.
me. How you guys doing?"
Yeah.
Like I just appreciate that. I want realness. I want them to be honest.
Yeah, I do way better with blunt honesty too. But anyway. If I got to get more pictures of him for you,
All
but
right. So
he's
what
he's
else is going on this boat? What else are we talking about? So we have The young people on boat, the altercockers, and this naturalist guy, and that's
There's
where
not
we are.
much else, really. I mean, the staff are all awesome. They all seem pretty cool. Like the bartender's good. I've made some crack some jokes with them. Like the people who work for the cruise line, they're all younger, 20s and 30s.
It sounds like a good gig. Like if I got to work, it's not the worst job you could have,
No.
right?
Oh, definitely. You just got to deal with the boomers. That's it. But yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen any bad human behavior from the boomers yet? Like have you seen them like yell at anyone or cause problems or anything like that yet?
I did see a woman complain there's no gluten-free rolls.
No gluten-free rolls on the boat.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, so far, no really bad behavior. I think with this crowd, politeness is sort of, and norms are kind of what that crowd, and when I say that crowd, I mean very rich people. That is what they care. That's what they care about, is politeness, right? That's very, very important to them. And so I think that's good in some ways. Like, you're not going to get the Karen behavior as much, for sure.
But it won't be the cool, like you won't have good conversations that are based in realness. Everything's small talk and everything is super polite. And everything is like surface level. Like, we're not going to get deep into anything.
No. Like, I try to like crack a joke or say something silly, and the wife gives me a look like "shut up," because like it just never goes. It never lands. They look at me like I'm insane.
Yeah. You're riffing. You're riffing with these people, and you're trying, and it just ain't. It's like a tough.
I really am trying. But the older lesbian, the lesbian couple we met, they're okay. Like,
they're going to be okay. I make a prediction: by the end of this trip, you're going to charm the older lesbian couple, and you're going to wind up being friends with them. You'll be Facebook friends, and they're going to be all right. I mean, because I don't know. I can somehow visualize that.
I'm hoping to find at least one or two other boomers that I can befriend. But
sure,
there are some on here there's a guy on here, Bruce, that I think has dementia. Like,
really?
Or something. Yeah.
Does he have like a wife who's a caretaker, some sort of person that's in like handling him, like a handler?
Yes.
Who's the handler?
I think it's his wife, and he's going to snorkel.
Is that the picture of the guy that you sent? You think that guy's?
That was just one of. There's 100. There's 50 guys on here, just like the guy sent you.
Oh my god!
No.
Wow. No. I went snorkeling once. Have you ever been snorkeling in the open ocean?
Oh yeah. Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I went once in Hawaii and I was terrified because it was in Hawaii and you get snorkeling and it's like, okay, you get in the water. And for some reason I was hit with a wave of terror because the water was crystal clear and the water was like 100 feet deep. And so you're on the surface of the water, you're looking straight down. And I got like it's weird. I got like a fear of heights because you're just floating above the ground, which is you're 100 feet up. And yes, it's water, whatever. But then there's also these huge creatures that are bigger than me, swimming around, fucking turtles or whatever the fuck, dolphins. I got out of that water so fast. Like, I didn't like it. Do you like this snorkeling?
I do. I mean, I do. Both of us do. We like seeing the animals and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, that was sort of the highlight of the Galapagos, was the snorkeling. So
that's cool.
How it goes here, but
I just get terrified because of watching Jaws as a little boy and growing up on the Jersey Shore.
I'm more scared of the boomers, honestly, like bumping into me and shit.
Yeah, but in a fight, you could probably take the boomers down. You know what I mean? Like you could really take care of them.
Things get out of line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to do a little quickie up. Nothing really, man. I just wanted to do a little quickie.
You're not going to bring in Christina and do a pig check?
I didn't tell her I was going to do that, so no. I gotta. I did not tell her, so no. Maybe we could do that later in the week, or
I got something. We just had
back on Sunday.
Okay, we just had the Super Bowl. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, of course.
And so I never watched the Super Bowl at all. I'm done with the NFL. It's too many commercials. Like, I hate it, right? But for some reason, do you mind if I tell a quick Super Bowl story, or we not have time for that?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. You might find this interesting. Real quick. I'll try to move it along. So for whatever reason, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. You know, it was on. I'm just turned on the TV, and I'm just going to eat a bunch of snacks. I got some frozen pizza. I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. And it takes me back to a story that happened because it was the Niners. It's the Niners against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I just want to watch the Super Bowl. And I realized it made me think about something. I'm like, 29 years ago, the Niners went to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. And I don't know if you know this about me or not, Dan, but I went to that Super Bowl on the owner's plane. I was friends with the owner's family. Yeah.
DeBartolo.
Yeah. And so it had me thinking about that day because they kept on showing shots of the owner's box and things like that. And I was like, wow, that is just wild that I was there. And I just want to tell a quick story about how I got there. Do you mind? Quick story?
No, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. So basically, I'm in San Francisco. It's around 1995, whatever. I'm just like this young, long-haired, constantly stoned drummer in a band. I was screen printing with this guy, ran a little shop, and he had a surfer buddy friend who would show up. His name was Matt. One day, Matt comes in, and he goes, hey, man, I just met this girl. I'm so happy. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, she's rich. Her father's a billionaire. Her name is Tiffany DeBartolo. I'm like, really?
Oh, wow.
You know, and he's just like a friend, you know, he's a friend of my boss's, whatever. And so we're sitting around smoking bong hits in the screen printing shop. And this goes on for a couple weeks. He's still dating her. Things are good. This guy, Matt, he was a real himbo, just like fucking good looking, worked in like a very expensive San Francisco suit store or whatever. He's a himbo. He's a good looking guy. And I know I'm not good looking. I'm like this, you know, bridge troll, right? With long hair and stuff. This guy was tall and everything. So long story short, he goes like, hey man, Tiffany is having a dinner and inviting a bunch of people. And I get to invite two friends. I'm going to invite Bruce. I'm going to invite you and your boss, Jeff, my friend, Jeff. And I'm like, you know, of course, Jeff got really excited. And I was like, I don't want to go. And they both looked, you know, Jeff and Matt were both like, why don't you want to go? This is a you know, a dinner with a very, you know, very rich person. Why don't you want to go? I'm like, I don't know. You got to wear a nice button down shirt. It's going to be, I'm going to feel uncomfortable. I don't like that whole thing. She's like, no, you got to go. So I go and I'm very uncomfortable. I know that I'm uncomfortable because I'm not around my people. My people at this point are bike messengers, graffiti artists, lowlifes. Like, right? And now I got to be around these like millionaires and these very rich, you know, very rich people. So we go to this place in North Beach, San Francisco, and I go in. To this day, I don't know why they invited me. I think they thought I was entertaining. And I know I can be entertaining, right? So I turn it on at this fucking place, Dan. You know how it is. So I go and I'm like, oh, this is Tiffany DeBartolo. And I'm like, hey, Tiffany, how are you, right? And again, I look like Eddie Vedder. I look just like the guy. Long hair, goatee, fucking, I'm wearing like ridiculous, right? I look ridiculous. Sit down at this nice table and stuff, and we start talking about things. And I'm riffing. I'm like you. I work to entertain the crowd, right? So I'm riffing. I'm making these rich people laugh. I guess they've never been around a person like me. Eventually, at the end of the game, so we're all having, you know, and Tiffany's taking a liking to me. The family is, everything, all her sisters. And I could tell I'm winning over the crowd. Halfway through this dinner, Tiffany says, hey, Bruce, we got a game coming up. Why don't you come to the 49ers game and hang out in the owner's box with me? And everyone, like, I didn't realize what a big deal this was, but everyone at the table looked at me like, oh my God, she invited you to the owner's box at a Niners game. And people were just blown away that she just did that to me, some troll looking guy, right? And this is what blew everyone away. I just looked at her without missing a beat, like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. I don't really want to do that. And Matt and Jeff and everybody were like, what? You don't want to do that? She's handing you a golden ticket, right? And they said that aloud. She's handing you a golden ticket. Why don't you want to go to the owner's box? And again, without missing a beat, I'm like, Yeah, I'm not much of a fan of football. Those guys traumatized me in high school, and I just don't want to be. I'm not really into that whole thing. Like, it doesn't sound like a good time for me. And it blew Tiffany away and her whole family away. Like, they've never been told no, that somebody didn't
Sure.
want to go to the owner. They've never heard that. This moment of realness. And looking back on it, like, that's what it was. They've never been told no, that, like, I really don't want to go. Probably everyone's like, yeah, I would love to go. That'd be great, blah, blah, blah. And they had to, like, come on, please go. I'm like, all right. Do I have to wear a button-down shirt? Like, what do I have? No, it'll be fine. And so that's how I got into the owner's box. Mr. DeBartolo is an old Italian guy, and the whole family is very superstitious. I show up in the owner's box. I meet a bunch of, rich people, a bunch of celebrities. The guy from Loverboy was there, right? This kind of thing. And I start showing up at these games. We start winning. And when I'm there in the owner's box, we win. She invited me back. One time I didn't go. I couldn't make it at a Grotus concert. The game, they lost that time I wasn't there, right? So they had to bring me back.
Wow.
And so now it's in their head, as long as Brucey is here, we win. And that was true. That happened all season long. As long as I was there and it was in the owner's box, they would win. I became the good luck charm. I got field passes. I'm walking around in the crowd and people are yelling Eddie Vedder. They think I'm Eddie Vedder,
Oh, God.
Tiffany loves this. We get to the championships. Now I'm on the team jet going to fucking playoff games in San Diego and such. I'm in the first class with Tiffany and her family. Jerry Rice and all the fucking players are in coach riding back there. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. Goes all the way to the Super Bowl, which is out in Miami. I think this is 1995. Get flown on the team jet. We win. I have a little moment where I go over to Mr. DeBartolo, who's sitting around with a bunch of his rich friends. This guy's a billionaire, by the way. Not a millionaire. He's a billionaire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I go, hey, Mr. DeBartolo, thanks so much for having me along for the ride. I didn't realize I'd be along for all this. It's been pretty great. And like a straight up mob boss, he fucking takes his hand and goes, you're a good kid, Brucey. You're a good kid. With a big cigar in one hand, and he sort of cups me on the hard. You're a good kid, Brucey. You're a good kid. And then we flew us back, and I'm in the fucking parade in San Francisco, riding down Market Street, waving with the DeBartolo family. And that's my San Francisco 49ers story. What do you think of that?
It's crazy, man. It really is. It really is.
It was a lot like
boomers.
it was a lot like a Kramer, like sort of Forrest Gump type of story. Like I had no business, dude. I had no business being there, having like that life. Like it was fucking crazy. And I was watching the Super Bowl, and I was thinking. I actually texted Tiffany during this, and I was like, "Hey, man, can you believe this? Like 29 years ago, I was like there, and you invited me." And she's like, "Yeah, I was fucking nuts." I don't think her father has anything to do with the team too much.
No, he sold them. No.
Yeah.
He got in some trouble.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But that's my Super Bowl story.
I got nothing close to that, man. That takes the cake,
It was just kind of a wild story where like especially that point at the dinner where she turned and said, "Hey, do you want to go to the owner's box? You want to go to the 49ers game?" And without missing a beat, I was very honest and I was very real. And the whole table was mortified. No, I don't want to go. I don't like football players. I'm really not much into that. Those guys tortured me in high school. I said that. Those guys tortured me in high school. They shoved me in lockers. They're jocks. I don't want anything to do with that. And the way everyone's jaw just hit the ground. Like, oh, who the fuck is this guy? In that moment, Tiffany, like she loved me from that moment. Because I don't think that kind of, right? If she's around like these rich 20-somethings that are, you talk about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
like they're not used to hearing people like that.
People
right?
do respond well to that. I think to authenticity because it's rare,
Yeah. And the whole time I was in the owner's box, like meeting celebrities, I was the same way. Like, then we went out to dinner with Linda Hamilton. There was one time we went out to dinner with Linda Hamilton at the height of her fame,
Wow.
The Terminator lady. It was me, Tiffany, the boyfriend, a couple other people, and Linda Hamilton. And I'm sitting across the table with Linda Hamilton. And, I'm just being myself, just telling stories. I'm not blown away. I'm not saying shit like, you were great in the Terminator. Like, I don't care. Right. It's just about, I think, being authentic. And there's so much. I'll send you the picture. I don't have it, but it's me and Linda Hamilton's standing there.
That's fantastic, man. That's great. I'm telling you. Well, I will keep you updated on my travails, but barring craziness, we can maybe do a quick something on Sunday. I'll be back to my normal thing.
You're throwing a wrench in
That's
the whole
plan.
works, Dan. We were supposed to do a show every week on Sunday.
I know.
Right.
I know.
And so now I got to tell Dan, and I'm a guy who likes fucking routine. I like a plan. I don't like diverging from the plan. So we're supposed to do. So Dan texts me. He's like, we're going to do. Are you available? Are you available Tuesday? I'm like, oh my God, no. By the way, Valentine's Day is tomorrow, Dan. Are you going to do anything with Kara? All right, what's going on with Valentine's Day?
What are we doing for Valentine's Day?
Kara, can he do something romantic on Valentine's Day?
I doubt it. We'll be still with the boomers. Maybe I can find a boomer and ask her to be my Valentine.
All right, so we're going to do another one on Sunday. That's the deal.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I get back late Saturday night. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
All right.
We will return. I don't know.
This has been a shorter episode, 46 minutes. I have enjoyed your updates from the ocean. Try to take more covert pictures. As always, we love the covert pictures that you're able to take of people.
I will. I do try. Kara hates when I do that. She hates it. So I'm trying to keep that to a minimum.
You know what? It's good. It's good content for the show, and your skill, quite frankly, at taking covert pictures without people's permission is something special. So I think
Kara thinks that I'm not sly at all. You think I'm sly. She thinks I'm not sly. She thinks I get caught all the time.
Well, you might, but I mean, the thing is like you can't tell from the photo. Like I can't do it. I can't even work up the nerve to fucking do it. Yeah,
no, I don't. If there's something I want, I mean, that I had to get that boomer yesterday.
That's a good one. That's a good shot. I can't do it. I try to take pictures of people in Walmart, and I'm mortified that they're going to catch me with my phone up, like taking a picture.
You do it in the gym.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
I know. You get beaten up.
And I was there last night. I was at the gym last night, and there was some behavior that was bothering me. I went specifically at 12:30 at night to try to get away from people, and there was some behavior there I didn't like. It was kind of cool though, because I did see this guy who was working out who was clearly like an ex-con, and to be in a gym with an ex-con, it's something special. Like I didn't hate it or like it, but he was just had a tank top on, and the back of his head, he was heavily tattooed with, very scary prison tattoos. And I'm fascinated by prison tattoos. And he was definitely a white guy. So he was part of, the Aryan Brotherhood probably.
And he didn't try to shiv you or anything like that.
No, I think what was going on is guys like that, the fact that he was there at 12:30 in the morning working out spoke volumes to me. And I was trying to, like, I'm fascinated right now. I'm focused on this guy, and I'm like, this guy's probably trying to change his life, right? Like he clearly had a couple tattoos that he's fresh ink he's gone over. So he's probably trying to get rid of the Aryan Brotherhood, maybe the swastikas. He's there working out late at night because he doesn't want people to look at him, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, what a weird thing to be. It's like, imagine you go to jail and you got to join the Aryan Brotherhood just to fucking survive. Now you're out and you're covered with these tattoos, and you got to go to the gym at 12:30 in the morning so no one looks at you and like, what are you doing for a job? Like, I found myself working on next one because I wanted to interview him. It was like, what the fuck? I was focused on that guy. You know how you were focused on the 20-somethings? I was focused on this guy. I was like, what's going on with this guy? I was fascinated. Do you want to interview the 20-somethings? Maybe, like, would that be annoying?
You mean the kids? My friend's kids?
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
the people that are annoying you.
No, are you crazy?
I know, right?
I have a podcast and we make fun of rich assholes. Would you mind being interviewed? How do you even? No.
What if
I'm looking to fade into the background.
Right, like true Gen X style. True Gen X style. You're looking to just fucking fade in the
Like
background and not have
that
too much
Homer,
attention.
that Homer Simpson meme. That's me. Like,
Yeah. I'm gonna fucking look at my shoulders. I'm gonna fade off into the background.
Now I'm gonna get going, man. We have lunch in 30 minutes.
Oh, you got lunch. What? Okay. Well, listen,
lunch.
I've enjoyed this check-in. I enjoyed your stories about the boat. I hope you enjoyed my Super Bowl story.
I did.
You know,
you upstaged me, but that's okay.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to think of content.
No.
For the
It
show.
was good. It was good. It's great content for sure. It's just funny. It's just like you just have had such a more interesting life than me. That's all.
I don't know about that. I don't know about
all right, we're gonna wrap her up, but we'll see.
Listen,
you guys,
tell Kara that I said hi. And
Bruce says hi.
Yeah, and we'll do another podcast on on Sunday. And when we do that, are you going to be back from this trip, or when are you getting?
Yeah,
off
I get
this
back.
boat?
I get back late Saturday night. So assuming everything's on time and yada yada, then I'll back Sunday, and we should be able to throw something.
And we'll be doing the podcast from your house in Florida as normal.
And I'll give you the recap and the whole thing. Yep.
All right, let's do it around 11 or noon or something like that.
All right, sounds good. Everyone,
have a great one. Stay safe. Enjoy your scuba diving. Take lots of pictures.
All right, man.
Later.